She thought the smell of his gym bag was just from a hard workout. The vibration came once, then stopped. Ava barely looked up from the kitchen counter. The apartment was quiet except for the shower running down the hallway and the low hum of traffic outside their 12th floor window. Ryan had just come back from the gym 20 minutes earlier, tossing his bag near the couch like he always did before disappearing into the bathroom. Another vibration. Longer this time. She stared toward the bag. For a second, she almost ignored it. But something about the sound felt strange. Not like Ryan's normal phone. That ringtone was softer. Cleaner. Almost unfamiliar. Ava slowly walked across the apartment floor. The gym bag smelled like sweat, detergent, and Ryan's cologne. Familiar smells. Safe smells. The kind attached to routine. To love. To home. The vibration came again. Her hand froze. Buried beneath a towel was a second phone. A cheap black burner phone. No case. No wallpaper. No fingerprints. Just a blank screen glowing in the dark. Ava frowned slowly. Ryan never mentioned a second phone. Her chest tightened. The bathroom water still ran behind the closed door. Steam drifted into the hallway. And suddenly, the entire apartment felt different. Smaller. Colder. Her thumb hovered above the screen. Locked. Then suddenly, a notification appeared. One single name. Chloe. Ava's stomach dropped instantly. Not because Chloe was just a friend. But because Chloe had been her best friend for 15 years. 15 years of birthdays. Road trips. Secrets. Breakdowns. Late-night calls. Funerals. Celebrations. Chloe wasn't just part of Ava's life. She was part of Ava herself. The message preview appeared beneath her name. Last night was worth the risk. Ava stopped breathing. The world around her became silent. Not quiet. Silent. Like her brain suddenly refused to process reality. Her fingers trembled. Another message appeared. She still has no idea. Ava slowly sat down on the floor beside the couch. The shower continued running. Ryan was less than 20 feet away. Completely unaware his entire secret life was sitting in her shaking hands. Ava stared at the screen as memories flooded her mind. Chloe laughing in their kitchen. Ryan cooking breakfast. Movie nights. Beach trips. Birthday candles. Every memory suddenly felt poisoned. Every smile looked fake now. Every moment felt rehearsed. Her chest began tightening harder. Not anger. Not yet. This was shock. The terrifying kind of pain where your body still hasn't caught up to the truth your mind just discovered. She unlocked the phone. And what she saw next destroyed the last piece of trust she still had left. Photos. Messages. Videos. Months of conversations. Hidden hotel visits. Secret jokes about her. Screenshots of lies they told together. And worst of all, proof that this wasn't a mistake. This was a relationship. A real one. A planned one. A long-term betrayal carefully hidden beneath her own roof. Tears slowly filled Ava's eyes. But she didn't cry. Not yet. Because deep down, something inside her had already started changing. And Ryan still had no idea. The hardest part about betrayal isn't discovering the lie. It's realizing your happiest memories were happening at the same time as the deception. Ava sat alone in the living room while Ryan slept peacefully beside her later that night. She stared into darkness, unable to close her eyes. Because every time she blinked, another memory appeared. The first apartment they moved into together. The excitement in Ryan's voice when they bought furniture neither of them could afford. The nights Chloe came over with wine and takeout, laughing so hard they could barely breathe. The three of them together. Always together. And now Ava couldn't stop wondering. How long had they been lying to her while sitting right in front of her face? Had Chloe known every time Ava cried about relationship fears? Had Ryan laughed about it later in secret messages? Had every comforting hug been fake? The thoughts became unbearable. Ava quietly stood from the bed and walked toward the kitchen. The apartment looked exactly the same. But emotionally, everything was ruined. She opened her phone gallery. Thousands of photos. Birthdays. Vacations. Christmas mornings. Anniversaries. A perfect relationship frozen in digital memories. Except now, every image looked haunted. Ava zoomed into one beach photo from 6 months earlier. Ryan smiling beside her. Chloe standing next to them. And suddenly Ava noticed something she missed before. Ryan's hand resting slightly behind Chloe's back. Too comfortable. Too familiar. The kind of touch people hide in plain sight because nobody suspects it. Ava's breathing became shallow. How many signs had she ignored? How many moments did intuition try warning her before logic silenced it? Outside, rain softly hit the apartment windows. Inside, her entire life quietly collapsed. At 3:17 a.m., Ryan finally woke up. "Baby?" His sleepy voice drifted from the bedroom. "You okay?" Ava looked toward the dark hallway. For a moment, she almost confronted him right there. Almost screamed. Almost cried. Almost shattered everything immediately. But then she remembered the messages. She still has no idea. The arrogance in those words burned inside her chest. No. Not yet. Ryan slowly walked into the kitchen, rubbing his eyes. He kissed her forehead gently. The same lips that had kissed Chloe. "You should sleep," he whispered softly. Ava forced herself to smile. And in that moment, for the very first time, she learned how betrayal can transform love into performance. Because she smiled perfectly. And Ryan believed her. The next morning, Ava pretended everything was normal. She made coffee. She kissed Ryan goodbye before work. And she watched him leave the apartment carrying the same gym bag that almost destroyed her the night before. The second the elevator doors closed, her expression changed completely. No more pretending. No more denial. Now she needed answers. Real answers. Not emotional guesses. Not assumptions. Proof. Ava locked the apartment door and immediately grabbed her laptop. Her hands still trembled slightly as she opened the burner phone again. This time, she forced herself to read everything. Every message. Every photo. Every disgusting little joke they shared behind her back. The affair had started 8 months earlier. 8 months. That meant while Ava was planning birthdays, anniversaries, and future vacations. Ryan and Chloe were secretly building another relationship inside the ruins of hers. The deeper she looked, the worse it became. Hotel reservations. Private selfies. Voice recordings. Even conversations making fun of how trusting Ava was. That hurt more than the cheating itself. Because betrayal is one thing. Humiliation is another. Ava suddenly noticed something strange. Many messages were deleted. Entire sections missing. Like they had recently started covering their tracks. Her stomach tightened. Were they planning to leave together? Were they waiting for the right moment? Or worse, had they already discussed how to manipulate her once she found out? Ava quickly connected the burner phone to her laptop. Hours passed. Outside, daylight slowly faded into evening. Inside the apartment, Ava transformed into someone Ryan would no longer recognize. She recovered deleted images. Tracked hidden locations. Found receipts buried inside photo folders. A small hotel downtown appeared repeatedly. 3 times in 1 month alone. Then she discovered something even worse. A private photo taken in her own apartment. Her couch. Her kitchen. Her bedroom mirror. Ryan had brought Chloe into the home they built together. Ava covered her mouth instantly. The emotional pain became physical. It felt like her lungs could no longer breathe properly. But still, she kept searching. Because now she needed the full truth. Not half of it. Not enough to cry. Enough to destroy them both. Then suddenly, she found a hidden voice note. Ryan's voice filled the room. If she ever finds out, just let me handle her. Ava froze. Handle her. Not comfort. Not explain. Handle. Like she was a problem. An obstacle. Something standing between them and the life they secretly wanted. And in that exact moment, something inside Ava finally broke. Not her heart. Her mercy. 3 days later, Chloe invited Ava out for coffee. The message arrived at exactly 11:42 in the morning. Miss you. We should catch up. Ava stared at the screen for nearly a full minute before replying. Because now every word Chloe wrote felt poisonous. Still, she agreed. Not because she wanted answers, but because she wanted to watch Chloe lie directly to her face. The cafe smelled like espresso and vanilla when Ava arrived. Soft music played overhead. People laughed around them. Completely unaware, one table away sat 2 women pretending their friendship wasn't already dead. Chloe smiled immediately when she saw her. Warm. Familiar. Perfectly fake. There she is, Chloe laughed softly. Ava forced herself to smile back. For the next 20 minutes, Chloe performed flawlessly. She talked about work stress, random social media drama, vacation ideas, completely normal conversation. And somehow that hurt worse than if she'd confessed immediately. Because Chloe wasn't nervous. She wasn't guilty. She had become comfortable betraying Ava. comfortable enough to sit inches away from her and pretend nothing was wrong. Then Ryan's name appeared casually in conversation. And Ava noticed something instantly. The tiny smile. The subconscious excitement in Chloe's eyes. Small details nobody would normally notice. Except now Ava saw everything. Every hidden glance. Every nervous sip. Every carefully chosen word. "You and Ryan still doing okay?" Chloe asked softly. Ava nearly laughed. The audacity stunned her. "You know Ryan," Ava replied carefully. "Always busy lately." Chloe looked down into her coffee cup for half a second too long. And there it was. Confirmation. Tiny. But real. Ava suddenly realized something terrifying. This wasn't just an affair anymore. Chloe was emotionally attached to him. Which meant this betrayal had gone far deeper than physical attraction. The waitress arrived with dessert. And Ava remembered all the birthdays Chloe spent inside her apartment. All the nights she cried on Ava's shoulder after breakups. All the years of loyalty Ava gave her without hesitation. Destroyed. Not by an enemy. By family she chose herself. As Chloe continued talking, Ava stopped hearing the words. Instead, she imagined every hidden meeting. Every secret kiss. Every lie spoken while hugging her goodbye afterward. And somehow, the pain slowly transformed into clarity. Because Ava finally understood something important. Neither Ryan nor Chloe felt guilty. They only feared consequences. And that realization changed everything. The hotel appeared again 2 nights later. Ava sat alone in her car across the street, gripping the steering wheel tightly while rain slid down the windshield. Room 814. The same room from the deleted receipts. Her heartbeat pounded harder every minute. Part of her still hoped she was wrong. Even after everything. Even after the messages. Even after the photos. Because denial is powerful when your entire life depends on believing the people you love aren't monsters. Then Ryan appeared. Walking casually toward the hotel entrance. Wearing the gray jacket Ava bought him for Christmas. The same jacket he claimed he wore only for important meetings. Ava felt physically sick. But she kept watching. 5 minutes later. Another car arrived. Chloe stepped out. And suddenly the final illusion shattered completely. No excuses left. No misunderstandings. No confusion. Just truth. Ugly. Cold. Undeniable truth. Ava watched them meet beneath the hotel lights. Ryan kissed her immediately. Like it was routine. Like they'd done this dozens of times before. Chloe smiled against his lips. Comfortable. Happy. In love. Ava's eyes filled instantly with tears she could no longer stop. But she remained silent. Because heartbreak had evolved into something darker now. Calculation. She quietly grabbed her phone and started recording everything. The kiss. The elevator. The room number. Evidence. Not for revenge anymore. For closure. Because someday Ryan would try lying. And Ava needed proof strong enough to destroy every excuse before it even left his mouth. An hour passed. Then another. Rain continued falling across the city while Ava sat alone watching the hotel windows. At 1:13 a.m. Room 814 lights finally turned off. And something inside Ava changed forever. Because that was the exact moment she stopped seeing Ryan as the love of her life. Now, he was simply a stranger capable of destroying people without remorse. And strangers could be exposed. For the next 2 weeks, Ava pretended nothing had changed. And somehow, that became the hardest part. Every morning Ryan kissed her goodbye before work. Every night he returned home acting normal. Sometimes he even brought flowers. As if guilt could disguise itself as affection. Ava learned something terrifying during those days. People become incredible actors when protecting their secrets. Ryan laughed normally. Cooked dinner normally. Held her waist normally. Meanwhile his burner phone stayed hidden inside the same gym bag sitting near their front door. The audacity slowly became unbearable. But Ava stayed patient. Because now she wasn't reacting emotionally anymore. She was studying them. Watching them. Understanding exactly who they really were beneath the masks she once loved. One Friday evening, Ryan suggested date night. Ava almost laughed in his face. Instead, she smiled softly and agreed. The restaurant overlooked the city skyline. Candles flickered between them. Soft music filled the room. To everyone around them, they looked like a perfect couple. Ryan reached across the table and held her hand. I know I've been distant lately, he said quietly. But I love you. Ava stared into his eyes. And for one dangerous second, she almost believed him again. That's what betrayal does. It confuses reality. Because even after discovering the truth, part of your heart still searches desperately for the person you thought existed. But then Ava remembered the hotel. The messages. The laughter behind her back. And the illusion disappeared instantly. You okay? Ryan asked softly. Ava nodded slowly. Just tired. He smiled sympathetically. The performance continued perfectly. Back home later that night, Ryan fell asleep quickly beside her. But Ava stayed awake staring at the ceiling. Because now she understood something clearly. The man sleeping beside her no longer loved her. He loved comfort, convenience, security. And Ava had unknowingly become the stable life he used while secretly chasing another one. That realization hurt deeper than cheating itself. Because suddenly, their entire relationship felt transactional. Empty. Built on routines instead of loyalty. Ava quietly turned toward Ryan sleeping peacefully beside her. And for the first time, she no longer saw the man she wanted forever. She saw someone temporary. Someone already leaving emotionally long before she discovered the phone. Revenge didn't happen suddenly. It grew slowly. Quietly. Like a storm forming far away before anyone notices the clouds. Ava sat alone at the dining table night after night organizing everything she discovered. Photos. Messages. Hotel receipts. Voice recordings. Screenshots. Enough evidence to destroy both Ryan and Chloe permanently. But the more she planned, the calmer she became. And that scared her. Because pain had transformed into focus. Cold focus. She no longer cried while looking at their messages. Now she analyzed them. Studied them. Learned patterns. Ryan lied the same way every time. Chloe manipulated emotionally whenever she felt insecure. Together they created a relationship built entirely on secrecy and ego. Ava almost pitied them. Almost. Then she remembered the message. She still has no idea. The humiliation burned all over again. That sentence became fuel. And finally, Ava made her decision. She would expose everything publicly. Not online. Not through texts. Face to face. Where neither of them could escape. Ryan's birthday approached the following weekend. Perfect timing. Ava planned a surprise dinner. Friends. Family. Co-workers. Even Chloe. Everyone accepted the invitation immediately. Because nobody suspected anything. That was the beauty of betrayal. The guilty always assume the victim remains blind. For the next several days, Ava played her role perfectly. She smiled. Bought decorations. Ordered food. Helped Ryan choose clothes for his own birthday dinner. And every second of it felt surreal. Like she was directing a movie only she understood. The apartment slowly transformed into a stage. And Ryan had no idea he was walking directly into the collapse of his own double life. The night before the dinner, Ava opened the burner phone one final time. A new message from Chloe appeared. Tomorrow can't come fast enough. Ava stared at the screen silently. Then smiled for the first time in weeks. Because Chloe was right. Tomorrow would change everything. The apartment glowed warmly beneath golden lights. Music played softly. People laughed while holding drinks and birthday cake filled the kitchen counter. Ryan looked happier than Ava had seen him in months. Which almost made the situation feel crueler. Because while everyone celebrated him, Ava already knew his entire life was about to collapse. Chloe arrived 20 minutes late. Black dress. Perfect makeup. Confident smile. Ryan's eyes found her instantly across the room. Tiny details. Quick glances. Subtle tension. Nobody else noticed. But Ava saw everything now. Every hidden connection became obvious once trust disappeared. You did all this? Ryan asked Ava quietly while wrapping an arm around her waist. She smiled softly. Of course. For a moment, Ava wondered if Ryan felt any guilt standing there beside both women at the same time. Probably not. People capable of double lives usually separate emotions into compartments. That's how they survive themselves. Dinner continued. Wine glasses clinked. Friends shared stories. Laughter filled the apartment. Meanwhile, Ava's heartbeat grew heavier every minute. Because soon, everything would explode. Finally, Ryan stood to thank everyone. I honestly don't know what I'd do without Ava, he said emotionally. Several guests smiled warmly. Ava nearly laughed. The irony felt unbelievable. Ryan continued speaking about loyalty, support, love. And each word sounded more disgusting than the last. Then Ava slowly stood up. I actually prepared something too, she said calmly. The room quieted instantly. Ryan smiled nervously. Ava connected her laptop to the television. And suddenly, the first hotel photo appeared on screen. Silence. Complete silence. Ryan's face lost all color immediately. Chloe froze beside the kitchen counter. Then came the messages. The selfies. The recordings. Every hidden piece of their secret relationship displayed across the apartment wall for everyone to see. Nobody spoke. Nobody moved. Because betrayal looks different when exposed publicly. Ugly. Pathetic. Small. Ryan stepped forward desperately. Ava. Don't, she interrupted coldly. For the first time all night. Her voice carried no sadness. Only clarity. You both spent months making me feel stupid, she whispered quietly. So tonight, I wanted you to understand exactly how that feels. Chloe started crying instantly. Ryan looked completely shattered. But Ava felt strangely calm. Because finally, the truth belonged to everyone now. Not just her. Nobody stayed long after that. The apartment emptied quietly. One uncomfortable goodbye at a time. Ryan tried following Ava into the hallway several times. But she ignored him completely. Because suddenly, after months of lies, he finally understood what silence felt like. By midnight, only the two of them remained inside the apartment. The same apartment that once felt like home. Now it felt like ruins. Ryan sat on the couch with his head in his hands. Ava, please. His voice cracked badly. It didn't mean anything. Ava looked at him slowly. And for the first time, she realized how weak he truly was. Not because he cheated. Because he lacked the courage to be honest. It meant enough to destroy us, she answered quietly. Ryan began crying harder. But the tears no longer affected her. Because grief changes after betrayal. Eventually the victim stops mourning the relationship. And starts mourning the version of themselves that trusted too deeply. I never wanted to hurt you, Ryan whispered. Ava almost smiled sadly. People always say that after causing irreversible damage. As if intention matters more than consequences. Outside the apartment window, the city lights flickered across the dark skyline. Inside, everything felt emotionally exhausted. Ryan tried apologizing again. Again. And again. But every apology sounded empty now because truth arrived too late. Ava quietly walked toward the bedroom. Ryan panicked immediately. Please don't leave. She stopped near the hallway entrance. Then turned slowly toward him. You already left months ago, she whispered softly. And those words finally broke him completely. Ryan collapsed back onto the couch, crying into his hands. But Ava felt nothing now. No rage. No heartbreak. No revenge. Only acceptance. Because the relationship ended long before tonight. Tonight simply exposed the corpse. 3 weeks later, Ava stood alone inside the apartment one final time. Most of the furniture was already gone. The walls looked emptier now. Colder. Like the home itself understood the relationship had died here. Ryan moved out first. Chloe disappeared completely after the dinner party. Mutual friends stopped speaking to both of them almost immediately. Consequences arrived faster than either expected. But strangely, Ava no longer cared about revenge anymore. Because revenge only matters while pain still controls you. And slowly, the pain had started losing its power. Sunlight spilled softly through the apartment windows while Ava zipped the final suitcase closed. For months she believed betrayal would destroy her permanently. But now she understood something important. People who betray you don't destroy your value. They reveal their own lack of it. Ava walked slowly through each room one last time. The kitchen where they danced together. The couch where movie nights once felt safe. The bedroom where she once imagined forever. Memories still lived there. But they no longer owned her. That chapter was over. Her phone buzzed quietly inside her pocket. One message. Ryan. I'll regret losing you forever. Ava stared at the screen for several seconds. Then calmly deleted the message. Not because she hated him. Because finally, she was free from needing anything from him at all. Outside, morning traffic filled the streets below. Life continued moving. And for the first time in months, Ava felt ready to move with it. She grabbed her suitcase, opened the apartment door, then paused briefly before leaving. Some people enter your life to love you. Others enter to teach you what love should never look like. Ryan and Chloe taught her both. Ava stepped into the hallway. The door closed softly behind her. And this time, she never looked back. In the end, the betrayal didn't destroy Ava. It destroyed the version of her that trusted blindly. And sometimes, losing that version of yourself is the first step toward becoming someone stronger. Subscribe to Real Dark Heart X for more emotional betrayal stories every week.